See you, Adam. Hi. Hi, everyone. You all know David, and he's going to be talking to you. So here we go.
Thanks, Kelly. Welcome everybody. We made it through the week. I hope you found your rockets or most of your rockets. I hope everybody had a great time. Did you have a great time this week in Cochrane? Our RSO and safety director had such a great time. They decided to stay an extra day. Glad you could be here. Okay, we'll get this started. First, I'd like to introduce Riel and ask him to come up, and he represents the Board of Trade. And Adam and I and
My
Jason
crash and I didn't say it.
we've been working with Riel since last winter, trying to find a site and get things in order. And he's been a tremendous help with many things, including insurance. Great guy. Come on
I
up.
think it's gonna crash.
I'm. I think I don't need. I don't think I need microphones. Did you guys? Okay. They're okay back there, or are you saying it's okay? Because I've had the opportunity to speak a few times here. We built this place, but sometimes they tell us that the only thing we missed or screwed up, I guess, politically, is the acoustics in this venue. But when you look at the total package, I think it's good enough. So anyways, on behalf of the Board of Trade, I don't really represent one specific. I think I represent Cochrane. Unfortunately, the mayor, my brother-in-law, couldn't be here today. I guess he suffered an injury moving his daughter this week, so I'm well aware of this. So I'll wish you guys and all your teams welcome to Cochrane, or goodbye from Cochrane, because we're at the tail end of this, and we should have done this at the beginning of it. But in any case, this is I guess as far as economic development, as far as learning, as far as teaching, as far as science, I think we've covered this week, all of us, pretty well all of these various components. You guys enjoyed research. You guys enjoyed camaraderie. You guys met a number of people you didn't know before. So this is, I guess, the most important thing. I always say in economic development, and I've done this for 45 years, never lose your little black book. Or today it's in your phone. Because some way, somehow, somewhere down the line, you will cross paths again with people that you met this week. And it could be 20 years from now, it could be 20 days from now, who knows? So this, I think, was a valuable experience for all of you guys. Of course, whenever there's competition, and I competed on the ice down there's moments of true glory, and there's moments where you'd like to replay it again because it could have been better. But always remember that when the bar is high, if you're there and you're playing the game, I think that's the most important thing. There's 2 good years where I come from. My background is farming, so there's 2 good years in Canadian farming. The year I was born and next year. So that's the equivalent of, is the glass half full or is that half empty? Was this week a success or somewhat of a success? So it's basically, I guess it's an inside job. If you've done everything you possibly could do this week, well then maybe you will say, well, I could have done better. I could have done this a little differently, but you were here, weren't you? So I guess in Northern Ontario, for this first part of it, it's very much like building a community, which I've been involved with all my life, is that there are moments of great joy building a new arena. There's moments of great disappointment because the project did not go ahead. So I think for the young people here, it was something amazing in all of this week as I participated bits and pieces of it, is that at my age, you feel a little bit like Moses. We brought a lot of people to that line in the sand called the Promised Land. Now you guys are going to take it the rest of the way. So I think this week, there's many things that you're taking back from this community. As we built this community, we had the same feelings over the last 100 years. It was incorporated in 1909, 1910. So there's been ups and downs, and there's going to be ups and downs in a career, ups and downs in science, ups and downs in farming. So never give up. So just because she didn't fire the first time, wait till the next time. So I guess on behalf of this community, we are sad to see you go, but we're happy that you will be back next year. And next year will definitely be different. Some of the leaders of this program will do things a little differently. There will be less hiccups maybe. It'll be a little tighter. There's all kinds of changes that are going to be made. But you know what? For you guys going back home, you were the pioneers. That's important. You're not second, you're not third, you're first. So I leave you with this. Glad to see you here. Hope to see you back. And Cochrane will always be there for you one way or another. We've got the phone call away. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Riel. Next up, I'd like to ask, is this on okay? Okay. Next up, I'd like to welcome Mel to tell her story. And for the speakers, please do use the microphone because we do have a live feed, so we want it to come through.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay. My name's Melanie Montour. I was adopted to Six Nations from Seine River. I'm originally from Seine River Reserve, and my dad is from Couchiching and Treaty 3. Me and my two brothers were adopted to Six Nations together, and we were raised in Six Nations under the Haudenosaunee laws. And also, we were also very colonized in church, and it was all mixed up. So when we were growing up, we were taken away from our reserve from my mom. She wasn't with my dad at the time, and we were placed in foster care. So we were told that we were in about 6 different foster homes, and that it was during the 60s scoop, and this was right after residential school, and we were part of the spin-off of residential school, which was done from the beginning of colonization, which is like pre-Confederation. Residential school affected my family very greatly. My dad was residential school, and I believe my mom, she didn't go to any formal school training. She spoke only Ojibwe. So when the social workers took us away, they told us that, or they told my mom that she wasn't able to have any access. She was turned around in court and told that she wasn't no good to take care of kids because she couldn't do for herself really. There was a lot of drinking, and all the children from my reserve were taken away, and there was no children. It was only adults. So they were either given a choice when they were older to choose residential school or foster care, and some of them chose residential school because they knew that they wouldn't come home with foster care. They might be adopted out like the rest of us. And to this day, um, I know that the people that have been affected, most of their parents were either residential school or 60 scoop. In your age group, it would be now millennial scoop. The millennial scoop was also given its term because it never really stopped. Like there was residential school, the 60 scoop to the millennial scoop, which was affected my family, my grandchildren, and me, and my daughters. Um, we were always under threat of losing our children if anything was looked not suitable for the social workers. My daughters were always being called into question at school. Uh, it could have been anything, like, but a lot of it was really about the racism within the constructs of school. Um, the constructs in society where CFS were taking our children out of their homes to for financial. Um, when I was told that I was 60 scoop, I was 12 years old. My brother Jace, he was a year older than me, and my younger brother Al, he was adopted by my family's um, like brother. So like it would have been my uncle, and he would have been my cousin. Biologically, we're brother and sister, but we knew growing up what we were up against. And the reason why they gave my mom us is because she was so far colonized with church, and she was kind of an upstanding citizen. She had all her ducks in a row. She had a house. She had a husband that passed away, and that was pretty much unheard of in the time, because when she adopted us, she had to go through like the rigorous questioning and all the supports, make sure she had everything in place. And she said that we would have access to school, but we wouldn't be able to go to school on the reserve. And the fact is that they flipped us from one reserve. I call it a flip because I know it happened to other kids too, where they were placed into other reserves, thinking that they were doing a good job with us. Like, okay, this is another way we can take the Indian out of the child. The residential school movement was all about removing our culture and taking away from us our identities, removing us from what we knew. My mom didn't speak any English, she only spoke Ojibwe. So when I came, I couldn't speak. I couldn't understand what they were saying. And I didn't smile or laugh until I was 3. And so it was hard, for me to go to school. And when I was in school, I went to school with non-Indigenous kids, mostly white, and I was treated very differently than what people would expect, being in a mainstream society. My mom had a lot of meetings with the principals because of systemic racism in the school and how we were treated. My brother fought every day uh, with kids in the school, every single day, up until about grade 4. And then I started to fight. But the first racism I remember was when I went to school. I was 6 years old. I was told that I couldn't use the sink in the bathroom because there was 3 girls surrounding it, and they tried to bully me, and they pushed me twice. And they said, "What are you going to do about it?" I just wanted to wash my hands. I was 6 years old. I just went to the washroom. So I looked at the girl square in the face, and she's like, their kids are laughing at me, and they were like thinking nothing was going to happen, or I'd just walk out and maybe tell the teacher or something. No, not me. I kicked the girl right in the crotch and dropped her. And I continued to go around, wash my hands, and and I'm looking at them, and I'm just like walking out, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get suspended. I'm gonna get, my mom finds out, I'm gonna get beating. That's what I thought. That was my initial thought. But I went home and I told my mom what happened, and she made me get in the car, and we went down there and talked to them, because this young woman, or this young girl, was half Indigenous, and she was calling me racist names like Wahoo and Squaw, all the names that you don't want to hear, that are inappropriate for anyone. And now I look back, I see that it's still happening. The genocide with the millennial scoop, the racism within the society and the constructs, the incrimination within the police. And our people generally don't really try to get in trouble, but it happens. And sometimes it happens for good reason. Sometimes it's not. Like, sometimes it's about racism and attacking innocent people. And also with the murdered and missing women, I was almost picked up by one Paul Bernardo. Some people might recall that he tried to drag me in his car, and he tried to pull me in. And I was 15. I was hitchhiking, and I was trying to go to school. So I really didn't know what this man was doing. But when he did that, I fought back, and I hit him in the wrist and made him let go of me. And I slammed the door, and then I pelted his car with rocks. And there was cars coming up behind me, and they seen it. And it was on Highway 2 and 53, 54, in that area. And I had just gotten out of the car, and that's what happened. And I didn't report it. I was 15. This would have been 1984. This is way before he became famous for being the Scarborough rapist, and his before he killed Tammy, Carla's sister, and before they were convicted of murder, Leslie Mahaffey and what was the other one? Kristen French. They were so now I know that this man had been doing it for a lot longer than what they said. So this was in the 90s when that happened, when they started like noticing that. It happened in Toronto Park, in the East End around Victoria. And I know that he was just grabbing women. I know he grabbed Kristen and Leslie in the park while they were out walking, but they weren't from the area. And that was one time. And because I know that the first time that happened to me when I was, I think it was about 3 months before that, there was another guy that tried to do that and chase me. And the police wouldn't believe me that he chased me, and there was witnesses. And they chased the car down because he chased me into the bush. And he drove around the block for about 3 times. And I hid in the bush. I ran from him. I ran like I was really active back then. But I ran, and I went and told my friends in the 7-Eleven, and I told them, I said, please call the cops. I said, this man's chasing me. They didn't believe me. They didn't believe me until they seen the guy going around 3 times. And then when they'd seen it, they went and chased him, got his license plate, and reported it to the police, but nothing was done. When the police came, they said, there's nothing we can do. And, like, that's why I don't have much faith in the police anymore, because they made me feel that I was the one that was the problem. They made me feel like I had no voice. They silenced me through that. And to this day, like I rarely like to call the police for anything, because I know that it's I've seen people go down for nothing. I've seen people get charged for minor infractions, for standing up for the land, for taking care of people, for just walking down the street, and they have no reason to do that, but yet they do. And Colton Bushy was one of them. He got shot in a farm in Saskatchewan, and to this day, I'm still seeing racism about that. The families, there's been like numerous women that have gone missing in this country, and our people have been targeted. I've been targeted in different ways because I'm a land defender. I'm an Indigenous activist. I'm a human rights activist, and I'm also a consultant to our people. I don't ask for payment for this. I just do it because I know that it's needed. and they don't have help. So they come to me and ask me for help. I'm also a grassroots activist. I work out and do the work that is needed to be done for our people. Like if they need things, if they need resources, if they um, are looking for help in areas of child and family services, um, and also I do also do an art, my art over there, and that is what helped me heal through all of this, because I had to process a lot of this over the last few years, and because I've never really had any time to sit down and really analyze what happened in my life and coming to conclusions. It's very, very much colonized, like, what happened to me and my brothers. My youngest brother, he died of suicide in 2006, and he was healing, in my opinion, because he went home. He made it home. And when we were young, I was a runaway. I ran away because I didn't want to be there in my adoptive home because I was abused. And I couldn't talk about it because I would ruin the family name. And I was told not to write about it. So I kept it to myself. I kept it inside. And as I got older, I realized that the abuse was really horrendous, and that my PTSD that I've had since I was like 2 was really like snowballing. For me to have that kind of abuse and then meet Paul Bernardo, to my first relationship where I was chased around with a chainsaw when I was pregnant, and like just severely abused, like even to the point where it would drive a car and play chicken and scare the hell out of me on the road. Those are the kind of things that happened. And I can't talk about them to a lot of people because they don't understand the level of violence that I've lived. They don't understand the level of violence of our people. And we can sit around and talk about it and we make jokes about it because we're so desensitized to all the trauma that happened to us. But we're very serious when it comes to reconciliation. We're looking at land back, we're looking at reparations, and taking care of our own people in our own ways, in our ceremonies. And we need more sustainable changes for our people and to help. If it's not, we don't want handouts. We want to hand up. We want to make sure that our people survive and succeed and have these opportunities. And these are the opportunities that have been denied to us, whether it's through our children being taken away, or whether it's through the violence of the police system. Incarceration is a big one. We're looking at around 80% in some places. Child and family services, 90% some places, higher. And that's pretty much all of them, all the children, pretty much. And we're looking at 52.4% across the board for all of that: suicide, incarceration, children aging out of care, child and family services, involvement with the families. And once you're in, you don't get out. You don't get out until you age out. So you're always under threat, and we're always being targeted. And that's all I have to say about that. Like there's really no question about it. Our women are being targeted for human trafficking on a level that's like terrifying. We have a 50% chance of returning home every time we leave. And that's facts. Like we're 8 times higher likely to be murdered and missing. And our people need to be recognized in society, in industries, if they want to be, or if they just want to be left alone. They want to build their business or they want to build their life, they just need to be left alone. That's it. Like our people have a lot of resilience, and we're happy people, as like we live in a good way. We talk to people in a good way if we can. And realizing all the stuff that happened to me is like made me find my voice, made me stand up and take charge of myself and my life and heal through the arts. And that's it's been a long time. It's been intergenerational traumas. I heard a story about my grandma, and she was murdered in Fort Frances in the border town, just outside, just like bordering Minnesota. They said that she was decapitated, and I think about that in terms of our lineage. Had she been killed before she had children, we wouldn't be here. So, yeah, when you talk to Indigenous people, please be respectful, engage with them, and have dialogues to talk about the issues that are needed to be talked about. And, like offer them some change, or offer them some encouragement, be kind to them and ask what they need. And that's about it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Guess I'm stuck here. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been a crazy week. Not much sleep. I'm sure everyone's tanned as much as me or burnt. I'm really excited that you all came all the way to here in the middle of nowhere in a little town that dream and that really could with the right people. And this would not be possible without all of you and our incredible sponsors, MVPs. Um, I I have to stress that it's been really, really hard to make this happen. Very emotional week. Um, and this would not be possible without the likes of Jin, Maddie, Artemis, Eric, Adam, David, Eric, Kelly, just everyone that volunteered on both sides. I could probably name and name all night, but I'm sure everyone's getting hungry, and I'm sure everyone wants to know what's going on with the trophies. But a lot of you don't know this. Like I said, I come from a little village named Dubreuilville between Wawa and White River, with less than 800 people, about 6 hours from here. And kids don't really have an opportunity out there. Every time you talk about anything that's rocketry or computers, I've been bullied my whole life. And the the fact that remains is I I struggle going through school with ADHD and ADD, and my cleidocranial dysplasia. It's been quite a journey. Sometimes I'm all over the place, kind of like a little hamster in a wheel that won't stop. So that's why I've been kind of running everywhere. Not that I'm dying or anything, but I really appreciate you all coming here from the bottom of my heart. This is remarkable. We've been like literally showing Canada, the government, and everyone that this is nation building. This is the spirit of building a better future for the kids, for generations to come. You do not just have this happen overnight. This is grassroots. This is really something that resonated across the world. People have heard about all this literally from NASA, that's been talking about it, Blue Origin, people all the way to Northern Europe, Norway, and from all the continents of the world are seeing this message of resilience and hope that they can do this for all the communities. And if we can do it in the middle of the forest in a little town called Cochrane, then this is possible everywhere. And that is what I want you all to leave here with, that we are literally able to be the change makers that we believe, that the changes that we dream of, not just dream about it, do it. You just basically set your mind to it and be a mosquito about it, because I see a room full of dreamers, of people that have passion, that really want to change the world. And that's what we need to do, ignite it. And I mean, if you really didn't want to cross the forest and go through all this dedication, I just see people that have dedication and are future leaders that can inspire our Indigenous and Northern youth. And this has been such an honor to be with all of you. Some people don't know this, but our family went bankrupt twice. I had to leave my parents' place to live on their welfare while they could afford to live without me and work 2 jobs. I've been to 5 different high schools. I really struggle with school. I'm a college dropout, and this just shows you that you can pretty much make what you want with the right encouragement, the right support, and the right determination, and you can literally change the world. And that is why I am so blessed to have you all today. And I love you all. This has been a great moment. I will remember this for the rest of my life. And this is just one of tens of dozens of Launch Canada's, probably hundreds of them. They'll remember this for years in the Stardust Festival. This will be better and better every year, I promise you. We will rectify the little kinks, but make it so that everyone can have fun and just keep on building from there. And I really want you to come out of this with hope for a better future, and that you go out there and mentor and start a movement in your communities and really launch the North. So thank you so much for being here. Merci beaucoup. Miigwech.
Great. Thank you so much, Jason and Mel, for sharing your stories. Now we're going to hand it over to Adam and some others, I assume, to help with the discuss where we ended up with the judging.
All right. Well, first of all, I really cannot thank you, Jason, enough for having us here and really making this all possible. It was a long and challenging road to get a site where we could actually do this, as I think a lot of you are aware of. And it really wouldn't have happened if it weren't for the incredible support of Jason and Stardust and the local community here. So from the very bottom of my heart, thank you so much for that. So, of course, I also have to say a huge thank you to all the volunteers who made this event possible. It is an enormous amount of work putting something like this on, and it wouldn't have happened without each and every one of you going to that next level to do this. Working with all of you every day has been just an absolute pleasure. It's been really cool being able to actually meet people who I've been talking with and Zooming with over the last several years, but had never actually been able to work with in person. And the way everybody just gelled together was tremendous to see. So thank you so much. I think the end result has been something that we can all be tremendously proud of. It's certainly something that I'm going to remember, and I will look forward to a lot more of this in the years to come. So huge thanks to the volunteers. So absolutely, we've got a tremendous number of sponsors as well who have been heavily involved in making this all possible. As you've seen, our launch site this year was the MDA Launchpad. They really stepped up to support the community, and from what I heard from them over the course of this whole event, they were nothing short of blown away by all of the remarkable talent that was on display here. So to MDA and to all of the other sponsors who helped to make this possible, huge round of applause. Now, this was actually a really interesting experiment this year in a lot of ways, because I remember the first time that I went to the Spaceport America Cup, which is really the reason why most of these Canadian rocket teams got off the ground in the first place. One of the things that really stood out for me was the level of camaraderie that was so apparent between the Canadian teams. There really was this almost Team Canada vibe at Spaceport, and that's something that's been really consistent there every time that I've been. So in a way, Launch Canada was an experiment to see what would happen if we isolated that, gave it its own event, and then ran with it. And man, did you do something remarkable with that. It's been unbelievable seeing how this event came together and how you all worked with each other. I heard from so many people that this didn't even feel like a competition at all. It really just felt like a group of exceptionally talented, committed, like-minded rocketry students all working together to solve some really difficult problems. And everybody invested in each other's success. That was beautiful to see, and that was more than I could have ever hoped for. So to be ready. One. And so we wanted to give out these 4 Pro X motors to teams that showed a real interest in using that certification process to build up their own skills so that they can take on more and more complex projects going forward. So the first one I want to give out goes to the University of Alberta, who showed a remarkable amount of progress over the course of the event. And in spite of initial setbacks when they went through their first safety inspection, they were really determined to learn and grow and progress, and they ended up being one of the first teams to fly. That was an amazing accomplishment, and so I'd love to present to them a Pro 38 rocket motor that they can use to help get their members certified. Do we have anybody from the University of Alberta still here? Don't think so? No problem. We'll hold on to that and make sure it gets sent out to them. Actually, yeah, if we've got Shane Wetherill, would you like to take that on behalf of the team? The good news is it's just the case. Pro 38 and the spacesuit. Nice. Thanks. Okay, the next team that I'd like to present a motor to is similarly a team that ran into a number of challenges along the way, but showed remarkable determination, culminating in a really successful flight, and similarly expressed some interest in trying to build up their skills by certifying, and that is the University of Manitoba. So I don't think we've got anybody from Manitoba here at this point either. So we'll make sure that we get that sent out as well. What's that? So the third of our motors was going to the team that probably came the farthest with their project over the course of this event. This team started with a very rocky safety inspection, and by the end of it, after a heroic effort, ended up with a flyable rocket that flew quite nicely. This one goes to McMaster University. And for our final Pro X motor, this one comes at a personal recommendation for Noah from Queen's University, who demonstrated a tremendous amount of enthusiasm for getting himself certified so that he could learn the art a little bit better and support the team. And a pair of spacers so you can start with something smaller.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so having gotten the smaller awards started, we're going to move on to a couple of our special awards that we announced during the opening ceremony. So Originally, we had a pair of splashdown awards expecting that somebody could end up landing in a body of water. You actually all did really well at avoiding any of the lakes. So we are modifying the splashdown awards just a little bit. So I would like to start with our first splashdown award, which is doubling as a core sample award. This one goes to the University of British Columbia for that looks about like the depth that your rocket reached as well. So and our second splashdown award goes not so much for the rocket, but for the team. ETS, you waded through an awful lot of it in order to recover your rocket, and so this one's for you. All right, for our next two awards, I'm going to invite Karina to come up, and we will be presenting the Death Star Award and the Spirit Bear Award.
Thank you. Just behalf of all the judging staff, we want to say that we were super impressed with all of your reports. Like, you guys just make Canada so proud, and we loved reading through all your tech devs, all the technologies which are on your rockets and through the rockets, and seeing you at the competition was just a real pleasure. So please give yourselves another round of applause. You did not make it very easy for the Death Star Award, actually, unfortunately. So we did do our best, though, to determine somebody to get this. So this goes to the rocket, which did not have a recovery system that performed as expected. It was the simplest rocket which flew at the competition and whose motor flew away after it burned out. So Adam, as much as we love you, next time, please use the retaining pins. Okay, so next up is the Spirit Bear, and this goes to a team which faced really a great deal of challenges during this week, and my heart really goes out to you. They had a lot of roadblocks, which they all took with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of energy, and they really fought hard to overcome all of their problems. To me, they were always there during the competition, being really supportive of all of the teams. They had a great attitude, and they were really fun to be around. They also supported the LC staff, which we're really happy about. So unfortunately, they also get the award for the most scrubs, but let's give a big round of applause for Queens. Okay, so next up, I'd like to say a couple of words regarding the technology development category. So this was a really tough year for this category. Although each project was really well presented, unfortunately, none of them actually managed to show what their stated demonstration was. So although we cannot announce any official winners for this, I would really like to acknowledge the University of Ottawa, because they came a really long way this week. They really worked every day and every night, and we had a lot of discussions with them about things that they could implement to improve their hybrid test stand. They also had the best tunes at the competition, and with how far they've come this week. I'm really confident that they'll get a hot fire really soon, and we expect to see a hybrid rocket from the University of Ottawa here next year. So next up, I'm going to invite Robert to announce the basic category winners.
Well, first off, I want to say thank you to Launch Canada for giving me this opportunity. It's just one in a million. And also on behalf of my small business, Ascent and Descent Space Solutions Limited, with the award that you got for the for volunteerism. As for the different places, the third place especially was very difficult to judge and to figure out. It was very close, to be honest. However, this team decided to try to make the most sexiest Corvette-looking rocket of a rocket. It was just beautiful. They also tend to be very long-winded in their conversations with me when I would go talk to them. However, without any further ado, for third place, I'd like to announce for the basic category for this year, York Arbalest. Now, second place. You decided to make the most amount of payloads that I've ever seen in any rocket. You also decided to make the biggest report that we ever had to review in the entire history of Launch Canada. I did read through it all. It took me a very long time, a lot of sleepless nights, but I made it through it. And so did you. Without further ado, in second place was the University of Victoria. First place. First place, you were a very professional team. I was very impressed with the PPE that you wore. It seemed like all the time. I was also very impressed with how fast that you actually got the rocket onto the launch pad. The fact is, you were the very first. In first place, ETS. Yeah. Congratulations.
So for ETS, you've got one more prize as well, and that was our special custom Launch Canada Edition Pro 98 case. In keeping with our week of adapting to unexpected circumstances, the Pro 98 case was temporarily repurposed as a mandrel to make a fiberglass tube. But rest assured, it will be cleaned up and sent to you in better than new condition very, very soon.
Okay, now for the advanced category. So this team was very clever, I thought, and very fast to react to a lot of the issues that they faced during the competition. They solved all problems, yeah, with basically very quickly with a great attitude. So adding to a long list of firsts this year, this team was the first two-stage rocket to fly at Launch Canada, so University of British Columbia. So the next project actually took up to 6 years for some of the team members to develop. And I thought it was really nice when they said that they saw all of their problems finally flying away at Mach 2. In the entire duration of the competition, they were very professional, very calm, and very meticulous in their work. They helped to make history with the first ever hybrid to fly at Launch Canada. So University of Toronto, please come up. Congratulations. Great job. Congratulations. Good work. Congrats. Thank you. Congratulations. Good job. Congrats. Congratulations. So I'll invite. Next up, I'd like to invite Paul Cote to present the Payload Award.
Thank you. So for the payload category, we had quite a few teams competing. I'd like to give an honorable mention to Queen's University. Your payload was really cool. It would have been really cool to see it fly, but due to a lot of technical issues, it was not able to. But I just want to say really cool stuff. But without further ado, the winner for the payload category is the University of Alberta. Their payload is the capillary tube experiment. Really cool stuff. So round of applause for University of Alberta.
Congratulations, U of A. Your check is in the mail. And I also have to acknowledge our partners at the Canadian Space Society, who very generously provided the money for that payload prize. So we'll be looking forward to more awesome payloads next year. So that brings us to the final award of the competition, and that is the Grand Prize Launch Canada Trophy. So this award is open to any of the categories in the competition, but we look for the best all-around project. We try to take everything into consideration when we're deciding on this one. And the team that is going to be winning it this year really checked every box. They had a flawless flight. They were professional the entire way through. They were always there, always enthusiastic, with an incredible supportive attitude right to the end. And they were the first team to fly at Launch Canada 2022. This one goes for you, ETS. You absolutely can. And conveniently, your rocket is right there.
Okay, I got it.
We have a bad history of breaking trophies.
Now you tell us.
We'll make you sign a waiver that if you break anything, you have to replace it.
All right, so ETS, you can keep that trophy in your custody for the next year. Notwithstanding your slightly worrying comments about your track record with trophies, please take very good care of it. We will have your name officially added to it, and we will look forward to seeing it back here in one piece for Launch Canada 2023. Excellent. So before we wrap things up, I'd like to get all of the teams up front for a big group photo if we can.
If you guys get in front, the best. Yeah. Lay down. Everybody squish in. I'm on toes here. Squish in, everyone. There we go. He's way back there. Is that? I don't know which.
Okay, I'll invite you. Oh, you all want to say something? You're all like team captains here. Okay, so I'll start it, and you guys can. I'll let you. Oh, you can stay there if you want. Doesn't matter to me. Hello, everyone. So, first off, this was incredible. Thank you, everyone. I want to say that you were all remarkable teams. You made history again. One thing that we're going to be doing with the wonderful team of ATS that stood out like true history. Like we want to immortalize this on Highway 11, the big like this is like the vertebrae of Canada. This is where all the transportation from coast to coast goes, and we are going to work with ETS to make sure that we have a copy of this rocket immortalized in front of Cochrane right on the highway so that people can see this for generations to come with a memorial plate. So this is going to be awesome. And And before I let it go, just want to say that courtesy of well, apparently the Gremlins ate all the food in town, so and the alcohol, and no, there's no alcohol, no alcohol. But yeah, apparently restaurants and places don't have any more food because they didn't believe that we were going to do this, and hopefully they believe us now. But courtesy of the town of Cochrane, there's pizza on its way here, enough to feed an army of gremlins, just no water. But merci beaucoup. And I want to invite each team captains to that want to clearly say something right now. And I also want, just before that, and I'm sorry because I did promise, I want RPG's team captain to come say just a little announcement, and then you have the floor, and everything's happening here tonight, just so you know. Any questions? Direct them all at David. Thank you.
All right. Hi, everyone, and congratulations on all the amazing wins and for making this week so amazing. It was great being in the trenches with you all, helping some of you, cheering with the others. It was just an amazing experience overall. This was actually my first rocket competition, so it feels very appropriate for me to announce that in order to uphold our university's name change, the RPG team will actually also be changing our name to MOC, Metropolitan Aerospace and Combustion Hub. So I'm really happy to announce that in front of a community of like-minded individuals. And yeah, next year you guys will not see RPG, but MOC, hopefully. Thank you so much.
So just a quick thank you to all our sponsors and volunteers that are here today. Great work all week. And a special thank you to the person who embodied Launch Canada for the last who knows how long and has made this event possible. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Adam.
We're close. Bye. No. Pizza's coming. We're gonna play some music and just have some fun and enjoy. Merci beaucoup. Anyone else wants to come here before I close everything? That's it? Oh. Who? Someone's trying to say something? Who are you pointing at? Who? Oh, yes. Before you leave, make sure to check out Mel's stuff. It's very incredible and inspirational. And it is very beautiful work of local indigenous arts that support our indigenous community towards a better future for tomorrow. So please do check the booth we have right here tonight. She will be there all evening. And again, let's get rocket and let's launch the North again very soon. Merci beaucoup.